Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Indoor Golf Operators Podcast. So excited you could join us. This is a very new thing, first thing. It's the first virtual conference that we're going to have interviewing an operator. Some of you have been to our webinars and our seminars, and we're excited to bring this new concept to you. So today, doing something a little bit different, we're going to be talking with a local indoor golf operator, and he's going to share with us for about 50 minutes the ups and downs of running a indoor golf facility. If you're new with us, we are the Indoor Golf Alliance. We're the association for the indoor golf industry. And our job is simple, to pull the industry together and give everyone a place to call home. We offer information, education, news, networking opportunities, and for the whole purpose of to help you grow your business and to grow the industry together. So thank you for joining us, and glad that you could be with us today. And I'm excited because there's Sam and he's here. So welcome, Sam. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, hear you perfect.
Okay, great.
So, Sam, we got a lot of questions for you, a lot of business stuff. And but I really just want to get to know you first. So tell us a little bit about you, your family, maybe, kind of how you got here.
Well, I was I kind of consider myself a Midwest kid from the South. I was born in Milwaukee in 1988, and my family moved down into pretty much the area where I live now. They moved my sister and I down to Raleigh, North Carolina in 1994. That was kind of a business move for my parents. That's kind of where I guess you could say the entrepreneurial spirit came from. They brought a business down here, and lo and behold, after all of my high school, college time, I guess, uh, I started taking over their business. They wanted to kind of get hands off, maybe an early retirement, and they found a pretty valuable asset in me, somebody they could trust, somebody that they knew had been around the business for a long time. It wasn't something I wanted to do, but after college, I've got 2 degrees in exercise physiology and health fitness, and I use those on myself and really I didn't really enjoy it after college for a couple of years. So they made me an offer. I learned a lot. I had 6 stores, 50 guys, and 50,000 SKUs. So it was a lot. It was a lot, and we were a small retail shop, and then Amazon came around. So we had to adapt. We had to adjust. We had to learn. You know, we have the same product that people can get immediately from Amazon, but um, we had to vet our product, and we had to teach our staff on how to move forward. Um, I'm not a golfer. I am now.
I was going to
I
ask
am.
that question. Are you a golfer? Are you an addict like some of us?
I am. Yes, I am an addict. If my wife or anybody in my family or within 100 miles could have heard me say I'm not a golfer, they would have unowned me, looked at me funny. I grew up on the ice. I played hockey my entire life. It gave me a lot. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot of life lessons. It put me in places that I never really imagined myself. And I think it gave me the extra boost and confidence to my business started in right after. I mean, the idea was probably 2017, but we didn't get launched until June 2021, right when the COVID pandemic was kind of coming to an end. So it was terrifying. It was a little scary. It was a leap of faith. It was just an idea. Um, but we're here now. We just celebrated 5 years last Saturday. It was amazing. A lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of customers, a lot of nice things said, and it was a lot of work, but just for a party. So, but in this world, owning your own business is a lot of work. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us about your business. Tell us the name of it, the location,
Yep.
what does it do? What's the model? What does it look like?
So Brookfields has kind of been around the block a little bit. Like I said, 2017, I put it all on paper. I was the laughing stock of this area as far as you know trying to find money. I didn't want to burn all my own cash from the prior business. Brookfields is, I was going to be the only person in the country with Caddyshack indoor golf and lounge trademarked, which I found completely odd and weird. Oh, yeah, there we are. Um, that's my home away from home. Uh, I'm not there. I'm in my office at home. Thankfully, our bays are full today. It's a hot day. It's going to be really hot. They're calling this the Ring of Fire down here. So, but just for about the next 4 days. So I think that's going to help. But the name Brookfields, I was born in a small suburb of Milwaukee called Brookfield, Wisconsin. Um, Oddly enough, we ended up moving on to Brookfield Road, and my attorney and I were tired of finding names, and this one fit. My wife put together the logo. I think she used a font or two and combined them together, and um, she's been a huge asset to me in how far we've made it. Everybody was saying really kind things at our 5 year party about making a startup last past year two, year three, year four, year five. But it's a team effort to get there, from my staff to my wife and my even my mom and dad.
How many people you have working for you?
Currently, I've got a full time 45-hour salary bonus planned manager. And then I have three understaff under him. And in the fall and winter, we will probably add another. I've got guys that are getting 20 hours a week. Some are upwards of 35 hours a week. My manager puts in minimum 45 hours a week. Our business operation is 10 to 10 Monday through Friday, and we are open 10 to 6 on Sunday.
Okay, so tell me, what are the main elements of your location? What do you offer? What are the things that people can do? What does it look like day to day?
So my day to day, when I first started, when I put this plan together, um, play golf, drink beer, have fun, go home, do it all over again. As I said, I am not in the professional golf world. I love the game. I love what my full swing simulators have done for my game personally. My friends don't appreciate it, but I do. I love, I love the data. I never thought I would. I used to drive me nuts when somebody would bring out a rangefinder and try to hit the pin, and it's like, come on, let's go. But now that's me. I live and die by the data, and we find the data is true. So, um, my location is. We have a very what you couldn't see in that first picture of the three beautiful full swing simulators is right behind that picture. We overlook one of the ice rinks in the area. So what that does for my business is it is a huge added advantage that it's very rare, but it's starting to the concept might be starting to pop up, especially in my neck of the woods. We have a lot of ice rinks now. Go Canes! The Hurricanes just won the cup, and they've been a huge asset to this town. And hockey's huge in this town, so we have the added advantage of parents, coaches, players. They can be at my establishment enjoying a cold beverage while not freezing down in the ice rink, and they're overlooking their son, their daughter, their friend, anybody on the ice. So um, that's a huge advantage for me. And in the last webinar you guys had, I didn't feel lost. I didn't feel left out. But my business plan was it never included the big things that we're all learning now, as far as lessons, fitting, pros, you know, maybe clubs. I re-grip clubs for all my customers. It's a pat. I love it. I love It puts me in the garage. It's nice and quiet. I've been in retail for a long time, and shame on me. I didn't think Brookfields would have uh, that retail customer feel, but you're providing a product to somebody. Um, so we get some nasty customers, but it's very rare. And so gripping clubs is something I like to do. It's quiet. I can do it on my own time. But I'd say that's, it's going to sound weird, especially because the last webinar, a lot of people had a lot of really good things, and we kind of took that, and we did from you, Phil, at the Indoor Golf Alliance. I took it to my manager and my wife, and I said, look, we have to adapt. We have to, I'm no longer the only indoor golf facility within 100 miles of one of the largest, most up and coming regions of the country. We're an hour and a half from Pinehurst. We are, this is the most we have. For every 126 people leaving my town now, 312 are coming in. It's just it's massive. We're turning into a concrete jungle, unfortunately. But as a business owner, I appreciate it. As a person of the town, I want traffic to disappear. It's a love hate. So
Oh, I get it.
um,
How many bays do you have, Sam?
I have three of the full swing, widescreen, multi-sport simulators. And that was the best, and that was the only decision I was going to make when it came to golf, and the simulation. I am very passionate. I'm very fortunate to have been able to, one, afford those three simulators. They aren't, everybody in this world knows the price of, you get what you pay for. I am a very I'm a full swing golf advocate. I don't want to get on here and push away the other guys. Uh,
Oh, it's okay.
I'm
And
passionate for full swing.
we want to know why. So why full swing? Help me through that thinking process and what made you make that decision to go with full swing?
Well, oddly enough, I started in my living room. My wife walked through the door one day, and my friends and I are hitting real golf balls with real drivers in my living room. I used the tiny infrared. Shoot, I forget the name of it, but it took club speed, club path, face angle, and that was about it. And then it generated an image on my screen in my room. I've seen them before around town at other like dive bars or whatever, just trying to add um, a level of some food, drink, entertainment. But when I came across Full Swing for my business model, like I said, we don't do lessons. We have a lot of coaches and stuff. We get a lot of the tour champion pros that live across the street when it's raining or their facility's closed. They trust my machine, and when I saw that, and they trust the data. Yeah, you get a perfect lie every time, and everybody's going to fight you on simulator data, but Full Swing, in my opinion, is the best for simulation. I think everybody's getting very close to producing the same numbers. You could take a little, Mevo to the driving range and sit it behind you, and you're going to get the same, very close numbers that I would with my, $6,000 Full Swing kit launch monitor, which we use for my mobile unit that I've incorporated into the business. But when it comes to Full Swing golf, the updates, the simulation is way more real. When we watch the PGA Tour, and again, I'm not here to bash another company, but we have eyes to watch, right? We see Ben Griffin or Scotty Scheffler, whoever, they hit that ball. You see the ball on the TV, and then you see the tracer data brought to you by TrackMan. It's not even close to the ball. It drives me insane. So the data from TrackMan, it's all like I said. We all get Full Swing as a camera-based system, unless you're using the kit. That's a radar, just like TrackMan. I do enjoy going to facilities that do have other, foresight. TrackMan, Mevo, some guys. I think TrackMan, Full Swing, Foresight. Um, there's a couple other that are pretty good. I walked into my buddy's basement the other day, and when I evaluate a simulator, I know I'm going to take my 7-iron, swing it at 90 miles an hour, hopefully hit the center. I know what that ball speed should be. It's like telling people that the ball makes a difference. You bring a driving range ball into a simulator and you hit it at a 7-iron, 90 miles an hour. The driving range balls they're not going to fly like the $5 or $6 golf ball you put on the first tee. It's just that's a fact.
Right.
The numbers are the numbers. But Full Swing has been very good to me. We've become we've got a great relationship from the top of the sales to the top of the tech. Mike Brookfields is one of the first to be. We're in the beta testing group, so if they release something, we put it through we just test everything, and sometimes something slips. The other night we run League Night, which I'm sure we'll get into. League Night's a very big revenue generator. It's almost like my subscription-based membership, which another thing we can get into. The computer would not let another player play. And it just was that certain hole, that certain format, that certain place on the hole. But my staff and I are knowledgeable enough to be able to not waste my league players' time. And Full Swing's very quick. It's fast. It's adjustable. So I'm a huge advocate. I wish I could have more simulators, but my space just cannot allow it.
Right, right. And I want to get into that leagues, like you said, in a moment. But first tell me, so basically you're open to the public, you're open to walk-ups?
Yeah, yeah. This is I'm in one of the largest buildings, well, the largest building in Wake Forest. We've got 2 sheets of ice. It's an entertainment-based building. There's 4 baseball fields, a soccer field, 8 basketball courts, 2 sheets of ice, 2 restaurants, a brewery. This is all on the property, but in the building, I am the only one overlooking the ice. No shame on me, but I'm after the rink. I'm the longest tenured business there.
Oh,
Uh, it's times are tough, and sometimes people bite off a little bit more than they can chew, and sometimes I think I did. Opening a startup, to be honest, in 2021, indoor golf it really wasn't a thing. There were lessons, there were fittings, we did have a gentleman with a indoor golf, but he was, his business model was he's getting $300 plus an hour for lessons. He's a wonderful coach. He's a hell of a player. He's a good person. Seems to be a good business owner. So I just kind of took things and changed it into what I saw from running my last business to what I wanted to see selfishly. Play golf, have a drink. We've got 3 big, beautiful TVs, which my thing is everybody has that. TVs, beer, wine. I give away free popcorn. We don't have a kitchen. The building and the business model and if I had food, I'm very confident we would have gone under 3 years ago. But that's just my location. We all know the value of food, and I don't even have liquor in my establishment. It just is. It's a running joke. When Full Swing came to install my simulators, the installers had said, hey, are you going to sell liquor here? And I said, no, it's not in the plan. And they kind of looked at each other and bumped elbows and go, this might last for a year. And I kind of looked at them like, and then I knew the first Friday night, we can't let the public tee up balls with, big tall tees. And it's a Top Golf crowd at a very sophisticated indoor golf place. So our first job is to protect my investment, protect the simulators, because if we do not have the simulators running and people have a bad time, my wife got them all in there with her wonderful marketing. We're a statue in the community. People love to come be with Brookfields and our staff. But if I have machines that get broken after one errant drive swing, I'm in trouble. I'm in
So
trouble. That's the downfall.
that's your decision regarding food and liquor is just not to have them ever?
No, I think the next location will be very wise to bring both in. And as well, like I said, we have to adapt. When Amazon came and kind of crushed a lot of the small retail businesses, they didn't get us, but we were happy to get out and let the other people take it over. But at Brookfields, we are learning we have to adapt. I never wanted to do leagues in the beginning. Number one, I was overworked. It was just another thing onto the plate. My wife and I did this alone for 7 months before I brought staff on. And we were open 11 hours a day every day just to see where our customers were going to come from, what time. Um, and anybody in the indoor business, if you know a rain dance, do it. Rain is king. And
Right.
I was kind of against, I'm not going to let the weather dictate how successful I am or not. It's just, you can't do that. So we started with leagues, and now, we have trophies. We have people coming from all over. We have guys driving over an hour just to be a part of our league, and they're driving by 3, 4, 5 other indoor golf simulator places. One that contributes to my machine, the full swing machine, my staff. We've got guys that are I've had the same guys in league on Thursday night for 4 years. We've maybe had one team switch out. So we're learning, we're adapting, we're taking what full swing is offering and we're manipulating it into a world that is very fun for the average golfer. Now, don't get me wrong, we have some of these guys can play. Um, I'm a big advocate of hitting the fairway, which so I'm thankful that these simulators are now punishing you for not just blasting the ball as far as you can. I've got guys in Thursday that are hitting 185, 190 ball speed, no problem. And if they're 35 yards or out, nobody likes that. If they're 35 yards or outside or inside, they're sniffing the hole. Some of these kids can play.
Yeah.
Um, but we have the ability to cater to people. We've probably got 15 to +4 handicaps in all of our leagues. And the 15 that steps up next to the +4, yeah, it's intimidating to watch that club be swung so fast and hit the center as a 15 handicap, maybe watching it. But we're able to handicap it in a sense. We've created an algorithm for an indoor handicap. We see them play around, and then okay, in league we handicap it. We don't stroke them. We move them up a tee box, which I think the whole world should do. Longleaf down in Pinehurst has 9 tee boxes. If you shoot 100 to 120, move up. You're going to have a lot more fun. It's unfortunate this world we live in is so egotistical with that big driver in your hand. It's unfortunate, but
Right.
uh,
So how many
we're
how
nice.
many different leagues do you have, and how many guys and gals, and what do you
Yep.
charge for league play?
Yep. So we do league Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. That's my league play. This in the summer we run 8 weeks, and then we take a 2 week break. The registration is $180 to $200 per man. That will help us. We put a large pizza and a pitcher of beer in front of every bay that we have. The guys love it. They show up. They warm up from 6:30 to 7. They play from 7 to 9. So my Monday, Tuesday, 6:30 to 7 is warm up. Excuse me. 7 to 9 is play. My third. So we have 4 men. Four. We don't have any women in this league. We do have a women's league. That's kind of a floater, but I'll get to that. So 2 teams of 2 in each bay. So there's 4 guys in each bay, 12 guys Monday and Tuesday. Thursday, they amped it up. They've got 6 guys, 2 teams of 2, or 3 teams of 2 in each bay. So there's 18 players. So they play till 10 o'clock at night. It's 6:30 to 10, but sometimes we got to drag them out of there. They've become close. Um, and we charge $30 every time they walk in for the 2.5, 3.5 hours that they're there. So there's a registration, a nightly, and we provide the entertainment. We make sure our simulators are working well. Uh, the pizza always shows up on time, which is great, and the beer is always cold. So as long as we can provide a good product, that from the bar to the cameras and the simulator, that's our job. We got them there. We worked hard to get them there. Now it's our job to bring them back in the door. That's the job.
And do you find them coming back, these league players? Are they coming back on the weekends? Are they coming back during the day to practice?
Yes, we've got a couple guys with a standing tee time. They play from 10 to 2 every Saturday.
Hmm.
Um, they've decided now this group of gentlemen that I'm talking about. Um, they're probably the group is 45 to 60-year-old men. They bring four of them in every time, sometimes five, but they'll fly through two, sometimes three 18-hole rounds rather than going. It's going to be 105 here outside on Saturday, 4th of July. It's going to be hot. It's going to be dangerous.
Humid,
Uh,
humid. Yeah.
yeah, so we do. My league guys are very important to me. Sometimes they think we're only open on the nights that they play, but the league guys, they help tremendously, and they're huge advocates for all the golfers in the area. We're just inundated in the golf space in Wake Forest. Um, Wake Forest University is not in Wake Forest; it's in Winston Salem. But their golf team is you know they pop in when they're traveling. There's people that just kind of get wind.
Mhm.
Um, Unfortunately, you can't see it, but my location is a little tough. It grew on me. My location, even as much as I don't like it, we're buried in this building, but we just got new owners of the building, and they are going to help tremendously. This used to be a hole in the wall. Like Brookfields was not a destination for a while. Neither was the building that we're in. People were there because their kids were practicing, playing. Maybe they were out to eat and they saw my sign outside. But now we are just a huge part of the community. My wife is a huge part of the chamber locally. We were a small town 5 years ago, and now it's massive. We're just outside of Raleigh by a couple miles, and um, we just have to adapt. We have to learn. We have to grow. We have to keep moving forward.
Right.
And go ahead.
I was just going to say, okay, getting back to the beer, where do you get the beer and how does it stay cold? And
Yeah, so that one photo you showed of the bar, that was kind of that was a very early morning photo shoot with my friends and my family. I said to people, hey, we need to put a good website, we need a good social, we need everything. So I've got three massive coolers. We do draft beer, we do canned beer. Um, so behind me, and it's grown a lot. This was before we even opened, so there's so much more in this photo. But behind me, you can see a draft tower. Well, that's grown from 4 taps to 8 taps. Directly behind me, we've got a massive cooler carrying. I like to do everything local. I do have the domestic and everybody's favorites. And back in the corner again, we've got two massive coolers that keep extra stock for keg, extra stock for can. Um, so it's a tight space by the bar, but I have 3,400 square feet, so it is a phenomenal event space. Um, we had a private event from 11 to 4 this Sunday, and they were celebrating a life that they unfortunately lost, but there were golfers in the family, and uh, you know another big thing about Full Swing was the multi-sport, the baseball, the zombie dodgeball keeps the kids busy. So if dad wants to golf, his game will save. If the two kids want to do something extra, on the machine. That was a huge added advantage. So again, we are probably 95% golf based in my customers. But if mom and dad are willing to take a seat and have a sip of wine or beer while the kids do something extra on the machine, that's just a huge added advantage for a family environment. Um, the kids do scare me to death because we found there's little parenting. I call it's a cage. There's one way in, there's one way out. And when mom and dad belly up to the beer, we don't really allow anybody else in the sims unless they've paid for it. Each simulator in that picture that you show has a beautiful slate table, brown leather couches, a stand-up bar behind, so you can feel comfortable. The simulators, each simulator space, you do feel like you're in your own little booth. So that was kind of my idea too. Yeah, there, right there. So it is the simulators that are side by side. You really don't feel crammed, even in the corner. That bay there's not a lot of cramped feeling unless you shove about 8 grown men in the corner there. Then it gets a little tight, but that's pretty rare. Um, so
So
that's Brookfields. I wish I had a picture of the rink, but you can imagine.
it's okay. I'm just trying to get a big picture. So open to the public,
Yep.
charging what, $30 an hour? Is that what you said?
That's just for league. So in our pricing structure, we just went up after 4 years. We went up in maybe 4.5. We went up in price. So we do an hourly rate. We do off peak from 10 to 4, peak 4 to 10. Our off peak rate is $40. That rate covers 4 people. So if you, myself, and 2 others come in, we're splitting $40 4 ways for 1 hour. I have battled and struggled, and everybody everybody asks for a membership. It's even on my website. Click the membership tab, but I have not found a membership that can be beneficial to the owner of the club as well as the customer. It just and this again, this is my my location, what we do. We tried a summer pass 2 years ago, $279 a month. You get a certain amount of hours. You get 4 guest passes. That was terrible. It was awful. And subscription based. So my $20 an hour rate, we charge $20 an hour until Friday at 4. If you come into Brookfields by yourself, you can play, you can practice, you can play, you can do whatever you want for $20 for the hour. Right now at our local country club, it's $18 for a bucket of range balls. It's a beautiful field, and don't get me wrong, it's my favorite place to be, outside on the driving range. I love it. We all do. This indoor world is starting to get more traction, but we were hated on by the 55 and up community. We found they hate the machine because it's honest. It tells them how far they hit the ball.
Right,
They think
right,
everybody thinks they hit it farther, but the machine is very humbling. I tell
right.
people if you stink outside, you're going to stink in here, but you're going to get better. You're not losing golf balls. Uh, what we found is people that are new to the game, which after the pandemic or during the pandemic, that was one of the only things you could do. So once it got kind of crazy and oversaturated, our customers will come to us and will come back because there's nobody behind them yelling at them to hurry up. They're playing at their own pace. And again, we're not doing lessons. There's no fittings. This is an entertainment based indoor golf world. Um, but I am, not Indoor Golf Alliance. I keep an eye on this very closely. I love what you're doing, Phil. We were getting ready to go to Vegas, and we wanted to be a big part of that. And um, even though sometimes I feel that because I don't want to go out and get my professional status, I don't want to lose my amateur status. I want to conduct business the way we've been doing it, but I would be ignorant to think bringing in, I've got a lot of friends that are, I've got a Titleist master fitter right down the road. He's begging me to like build him a space in my space, which I could do, but I don't want to take away from what we have. Sometimes there'll be 250 people or 200 people in the facility, and we've got three drivers swinging at the same time. We've got family walking around, people drinking at the bar. Um, so that, when I see that, I know my business model has been okay. But like I said, I would be ignorant to not grow and adapt with everybody like me in the area. Um, we have
Fitter,
franchises popping up.
that fitter that you were talking to, do you have a partnership with them? I mean, you can still send them customers and get
Oh yeah, yep.
referral fee, right?
I send Tom. I kind of gauge the customer, and I've got two or three in the area. We've got where I bought all my golf clubs originally for Brookfields. I send a ton of people down to Continental Golf. Him and his staff are amazing. We're Global Golf. Have you got Global Golf, the online equipment store? They've
Hmm.
got a 90,000 square foot facility 20 minutes from Brookfields. That's kind of where they win. If they have, they'll have it. If they fit you in that club, they can go right back in the back room. It's 90,000 square feet, but people are just waiting to put that in there. So I kind of gauge my customer, and I send them to, whether it's, we've got some really good coaches in the area, and they come to me, and I just inundate their schedule with people that say, hey, do you do, and I'll give some tips and pointers here and there, but I taught myself how to play, and it, I'm learning how to teach others. I failed with my wife, but I am learning that like I'm not the greatest coach. I don't know. I played hockey my whole life, all over the country, different parts of the world, and it's a game. Golf was just, I don't know how I came upon it. I didn't like it in college. I thought it was slow and boring and blah 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 and all the stereotypical
Yeah.
negatives. But there's nothing better than you know, this is the best day of my life. And I'd tell people, you ever flushed a 7 iron? Like that feeling is awesome. Like,
Exactly. So you don't offer, or you do offer lessons? Do you have anybody else doing
no,
lessons there or
we
no?
do. At the end of the bar, we will keep people that we have good relationships with, coaching, fitting. We can send people immediately. We always have the answer. No is not an answer, especially when you have a smartphone or a computer right at your fingertips. No is not an answer. If somebody asks me, "Hey, do you know anybody?" No. If I hear my staff say that, we have a problem. There is an answer. You can find it. It's right here, or it's on the computer. And I've grown and created very good relationships with coaches, fitters, clubhouse managers. I'm getting kids on some of these golf courses that are, if you're not a member, you're not going to touch. But the people have grown to trust me and trust my customers. So that's kind of where we are in that. I do not have a plan other than, after I watched your webinar, Phil, about how do business owners in this world keep continuing to grow. You got to do lessons, you got to do the fittings, you got to bring people in that way. So I immediately drew up a know your number plan for my staff. If somebody comes to one of my staff and has questions about the numbers on the screen, we know the answer. We know how it got there. We know why that ball went out and right or out and left or didn't get off the ground. We may not be able to teach or instruct legally, but we can tell them, hey, this is why right here. This is why this ball or this club face is leaving wide open. And that's where I pitch my go see Tom at Global Golf. You've got a great swing, but your equipment is letting you down. That's all it is. We see some great athletes they buy this $700 driver right off the shelf, most likely from TaylorMade, and they've got a noodle as a shaft, as a 6'3", 205-pound man that's swinging it at 200 or 112 miles an hour. Go get fit. And then that's where my local guys, I give to them and they give back to me.
So it's not a financial referral program is more you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You're not getting compensated when you send someone over there, no?
I am, yes. We do
Yes.
so, like whether it be a league prize or we do a major event. We're in our second year of a major at Brookfield. So throughout the year, we've got players qualifying indoors. We like us our indoor algorithm, our indoor handicap. We have created a way to create a massive tournament in this community. Uh, and the people like Continental Golf, Global Golf, the local country club coaches and teachers, they give back to us by, you know, large amount of gift cards, um, foursomes all the time to some premier clubs that are used on Corn Fair. Raleigh Country Club, Wakefield Country. These are all Corn Ferry event venues.
Right.
The closest PGA venue right now that we have, well, other than Pinehurst number two, is Sedgefield, right down the road in Greenville or Greensboro. That is where, and my customers appreciate it when they, win a tournament or win a qualifier. I'm handing them a foursome to Sedgefield Country Club in Greensboro or Raleigh Country Club right down the road. That, I mean, you can't even see it when you drive by. You have to get in a helicopter or you have to be flying by, or it's a very prestigious. And when you hand this to your customer like that, it's something that we find other places aren't able to do just yet. You can try to pay for it, but it is, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Um, and it's just worked phenomenal.
Right. So do you have any partnerships with these golf courses? Are you working with them in any way?
We tried in the beginning, again, when we were small, like we tried to get into fitting days, Titleist, Callaway, TaylorMade, and to get into that would be to get in with the local. Their answer was always, let's do the big guys first, the Heritage, the Wakefield, the country clubs, and then when we're done with that, we'll give you a call. Well, I'd call back, and now we're getting a little bit more traction. But as far as relationships with the golf courses around the area, it's a little tough. And I say that because they're corporate owned. We have very few golf courses in the area that are owned privately by a local investment group. Those are the easier ones, but those are the lesser played. So their budget and the people from the top down, they're not. 3 years ago, they were handing out foursomes for prizes like nothing. I mean, but now it's tight. They're not handing that out. And I got a little scared because that was a very big incentive for winning league or winning a qualifier. Our major prize winner, it's much larger. It's very more in depth. Um, but we have found that giving back to our customers, they want their name on the trophy, and it points back to Brookfield. So it's special. Like we've kind of created an environment where people want to be. They want to come back. But as far as relationships with other golf clubs, they know we're there, and they send people to us
Okay.
when it's closed. So Monday, our premier courses around the area, they're closed on Mondays, right? The guys go out, the maintenance team goes out and makes sure the course is ready for Tuesday morning. Well, in all the clubs in the area, they send them to us. If somebody doesn't know that their club's closed on Monday, or the random guy wants to go hit balls on the range, if it's available, they send them to us.
That's
Brookfields
huge.
is
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's huge,
Brookfields
man.
is the relationship.
So what have you found that your best marketing campaign, who's your main customer? What works best for your marketing efforts?
So my wife does anything you see, social media, website, any advertising is done and controlled by my wife. Uh, she gets them in, my staff and I, and making sure the machines are always working. It's our job to bring them back. We are very, this is a good kind of point here. So, like I said, we're in a very large building that used to be owned by owners that, They see green, good. They see yellow, and then we're going to make a phone call. They see red, they're yanking you out, and you're in trouble. Now the new owners, the building was not part of the community. Brookfields did as far as marketing and advertising. We became a part of this community. We were involved in golf tournaments, chamber events, street events, vendor fairs. It was a lot of work, but we don't, my wife and I, and we can't go out to dinner without talking about golf with a customer that's sitting to the right of us. And that's huge. But if that customer to the right of us, they know Brookfields by being in the community. But when we say we're in the factory, which is the name of our large building, what's the factory? They know us. But now we're trying to get the building that we're in more well known. But the other avenues of advertising is we're very large on Google Ads. If you Google anything golf in this area, we come up first more than any other golf course or indoor facility. It's an expense that sometimes is painful to see leave the bank account, but it's an expense that you have to keep doing. You can't, it's not like, try something once. If it doesn't work, you don't do it again. Like that. That's just a terrible way to do things. And I'm guilty of some of them, but our social media right now is just, it's climbing, it's stacking. A couple of years ago, last year, this YouTube golf world, it should be a huge part of my life with being an indoor golf facility. Um, I've had the pleasure of playing with some of these young kids like Carter, the DoD King, this Big John fella. He's just taking off in the social media world. But when it comes to marketing, it's nice to go viral once in a while. But those people that like your video, they're not coming into your facility. You have to be in your community. You just it like I said, it's great. We've had a couple clips go viral. The YouTube clip that I was in with some of these YouTube people, like in this little city, it was kind of cool. But those people aren't coming into Brookfields. Um, your community, the people that are within 20 miles, we've got a couple that drive by, and that's just, they like us, they like our machine. Um, But as far as the advertising, you have to put your face, your business in the community. Social media, it's huge. It's great for us, but it's a way to let our already current customers know what we have going on, what's available, when, they have all the answers. The league guys have the answers when league starts, the next date, anything like that. But our customers that walk through the door that decide to follow us on social, we use that as a, hey, this is what we're doing down the road. Um, I think we do gain some followers or some customers. I don't want to call them followers. We have a hell of a lot more customers than we do followers on our social media, which I think is something to be proud of. We all want to, I think, I'm 38 years old. I am into the social media, but I'm very ignorant into, you know, getting into that world. I don't watch
Get it.
YouTube
I
golf.
get it.
I don't enjoy it.
Right.
I should. I want to be a part of it. I think I'm just jealous. These kids are just playing golf all the time and uh, putting it out there. But I have been a part of that. It was fun. It was crazy. We were at a country club with 12 golf carts on one hole, and we had video, news. The four of us were playing, and the members at this country, they hated us. They wanted us gone,
Right.
and
Right.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. We were respectful. We were keeping up with the pace of play, but it was a circus. Uh, so we want to be. Our advertising is Google Ads, creating a good product, getting the people to come back, social.
Makes sense. And getting involved in the community, which is
Yes,
probably the biggest one. So,
huge,
so
huge.
if you have a young guy or someone thinking about getting into the business or maybe just getting started, what advice would you give them? What was most valuable? What would you change? What would you do better? if someone
I
came,
wrote down, if you could start from scratch, what would you do differently? And
right?
immediately I wrote nothing, which
Okay.
now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, well, because I was so familiar with learning and adapting with my last company that it wasn't an option to learn and adapt and grow. And you can't just survive off people coming in, uh, playing golf and maybe not coming back. We have to provide league. Um, sometimes I'm afraid I'm giving away too many of the answers. We get a lot of guys that come into Brookfields and they start scanning around. And my
The
attorney was like, look,
competition. Yeah.
I said, look, she said, close your mouth. Don't tell people. Here's
Right.
an NDA. It won't stop them, but it'll slow them down.
Wise counsel. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So I stopped talking.
Well, and
And,
that's probably wise counsel for, you don't want to give your competition what you're doing. But
yeah.
am I allowed to ask what the future looks like? What's the future look like for Sam and his family? Um,
Yeah. You know, I briefly mentioned my second location is I was kind of ready. I should have taken in the 3 years ago before this really took off. There was a lot of franchise companies coming to me saying, "This is it. Let's do this." And I was so afraid because nobody gave me, my parents helped me out a little bit in the beginning, but there was nobody would give a loan to some kid that just made up an idea at the time that I was the laughing stock. So I was a little intimidated because they would write me an offer we'll write your FDD, we'll help you sell, we will turn this into a franchise. Here's our number. And I saw it and I'm like, oh my gosh, well, I don't have that anymore. I've got 3 simulators that cost me $65,000 a piece. I'm kind of hurting for cash, but I should have. If I can give advice, you know, don't get intimidated. Go if you have the money, great. If you want to grow, great. I told myself I'd never get into a franchise again, but if I'm leading the franchise, fine. I hate paying these royalty fees. I get it. People will pay that to me. But I created a mobile golf simulator. That was my second location. So we do breweries, weddings, backyards, events for Augusta. If you've got a flat 16 by, we'll just say 16 by 16, that's much larger than we need. You got flat surface, Wi Fi, and a power outlet, which now my lovely new truck has an outlet that'll run the whole darn thing. But that was my second location. We've got a really well designed blow up um, driving range, and we use Full Swing's computer and launch monitor to provide whatever you see on the screen that you showed at Brookfields in my indoor location, my brick and mortar, we're calling it. I can emulate that right in your driveway, right in your backyard, right at
wow.
your corporate event. We do. I'm the lead sponsor for the or the Home Builders Association of Wake County, Franklin County, Chatham County, Durham County. Construction boys love to play golf. They
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
So we're kind of touring around. The whole thing fits in my truck. I did just have a very good interview with a gentleman that I trust, and I'm gonna put the unit in a van and tell him as many times as you get this out, I'll pay you X amount, because there's nothing wrong with that mobile unit. When it blows up, my name is all over it. Brookfields is everywhere. So there's
Right.
nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with blowing that thing up. And maybe they stiff you, which never happens. But maybe the rain is so heavy it just can't hold it. Either way, blowing that mobile unit up is great for business. It's just amazing.
Right.
Uh, but it's
What
hard
ab-
work.
what about a standalone future location? Are you looking at other locations for
Yep.
uh and
Yeah, I want to. My next one, I would really. We're running out of land here, and we're getting. If you want a piece of property, you got to go a little bit out of the city. Um, we're in. We're in kind of the brick and mortar heaven. It's like the inline the TJ Maxx, the Target, the inline kingdom, like that's kind of where we are. And unfortunately, my town took that page out of Raleigh, and they're doing it here. But those people, they have money, they're going to continue to be able to pay. My next location could either be above another ice rink. Great business model. Hockey parents have money to spend, and they like to drink. I'm a product of hockey parents.
Right.
I am not a
Perfect.
parent, but I spend a lot of my time with hockey parents, and that was my world growing up from age 8 to 30. It gave me everything.
Know that market.
So yeah,
Yeah.
my next location is either I would love to own the building. I want to have uh, the first idea that Brookfields had before the pandemic started. We looked for a year and a half for the perfect spot. We found it. We had 6 machines, 6,000 square feet, a chef. It was a huge deal, but the pandemic it squashed that. And now I'm glad because I wouldn't put a business where I was going to put that one. I wouldn't enjoy it. It's kind of turned into a not so. That's not fair to say, but it. I'm glad we are where we are and we started where we started. But yes, the next iteration of Brookfields will be um, hopefully a standalone in a great area, kind of like we have now, where there's other things to do other than just me. I'd be selfish to think, like I was in the beginning, people just want to golf, play beer, and do that all day, every day. There's a lot of stuff that other people do other than what I love to do. So the next location, we'd love a big outdoor open garage seating. You know, maybe we'll introduce some food. We'll definitely introduce liquor now that I've figured out how to protect my machines.
Right, right,
That was the
right.
largest, hardest thing. And I wasn't gray before I started this venture. But when my machines started to crumble, which is the only downfall I have from Full Swing, but they and I worked together to figure out how can we protect these very large, very sensitive cameras.
Right.
But we figured it out. We've been smooth sailing. The only thing we have to worry about now, knock on wood, is we're going through hitting mats like water, which is great. That means I'm doing a great job. That means people are hitting golf balls. Uh, so
Perfect.
that was it.
Dan, we could talk for hours, but we do need to wrap this thing up. So I do want to hear a closing word. But before I let you kind of wrap things up, I want to share with some folks who are basically maybe aren't aware of who we are, what we're doing, but just a quick little recap of the IGA. We are the association for the industry, the indoor golf industry. We're here to serve you. We have weekly newsletters, we have monthly webinars, now this weekly podcast, which I'm excited about. We've got a resource directory listing all the suppliers. We have a community on Reddit. So if you want to share ideas with other folks in the industry, you can do it there. We have a YouTube reviews channel where you can get product reviews. And if there's something you need or something we can help you with, please email me. And we'd love to, connect you with whoever you want to be connected with. And I'm sure some of you want to connect with Sam. So I'm going to give you really quick his contact information. If you will allow me, Sam, if you don't
Yeah,
mind, some
yeah,
people just touching base with you and asking some questions. He's probably not going to give you all his deep, deep, dark secrets, but he's going to give you some good motivational ideas. So, and we will follow up with all the attendees and give him your contact information. But in closing, Sam, tell us, bottom line, is this a good business to be in? Are you excited about the future? Where do we go from here?
yeah. This is great. I mean, the world of golf. I guess I timed it perfectly. We all timed it perfectly that are here. I think if anybody's here in this webinar, they've kind of been around for a few years. Um, the world and the game of golf is exploding. I mean, it's accessible anywhere. Like I said, 6 7 years ago, my wife walked in the door and I'm ripping driver in the living room. In the living room.
Right,
So
right.
yes, this is a wonderful place. I've met amazing people. I knew a couple people that before I opened this business, but now I'm in a world that I never thought I would be in. I'm enjoying the company of people I call friends. Some people are, I'm getting invited to weddings. These people are family. But it is not for it is not for the faint of heart. Money is tight. It can be, and it's very seasonal. We didn't really get into that, but you have to learn and adapt in the seasons of indoor golf. So I would love to have a facility in Buffalo, New York, but I don't want to live there. I've been up there before. I've spent some time up there. My wife's from way farther north of Buffalo, New York, and um, it it is something that I'm not ever going to regret what we've done. This is amazing. Um, my business model has proven to be wonderful. I have a little bit of free time. I'm fully staffed. If I wanted to be rich and wealthy and a member of all the prestigious clubs, I wouldn't have any staff and I'd work it all myself and take all the money for myself. But that doesn't work. Like you have to wake up and be able to want to do this again. I'd say in the middle, somewhere here and there, I thought, I've made such a terrible decision, but I understood what was causing problems and what was causing, a little bit of heartache. So I do. I think it's a wonderful place to be. I can't speak for golf professionals. I get paid by Brookfields. I am not a golf pro. I maybe one day, but I love playing in these amateur tournaments around the country, and it's just something special for me. And Brookfields gave it to me. Indoor golf gave me, you know, I was a 12 or 13 when I started, and I went to a +1 in under a year. Like this machine, this indoor golf world, it can be used for bettering the game, bettering your community, bettering your family, better. It's a it's a wonderful thing, and I'm lucky. I'm very lucky.
Lucky and blessed, Sam. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for your time. This has been great. I've learned a lot. Congratulations on your success. Keep on going. Appreciate you being part of the IGA. I think we're going
yeah.
to help a lot of folks just with your experiences and your wisdom. So, well, let's be in touch. We'll talk soon. And thanks
Okay.
for your time.
Yeah. Thank you,
All right,
guys. Thank you,
everybody.
Phil, for what you do.
Thank you for joining us, gang. And stay tuned for next week's podcast. We will be in touch. Thank you.